If there's gonna be one person that takes out Arthur and makes it into the top 10, it's gonna be... What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, the runner-up of season 14 on American Idol. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll give you a second to do it. If you want to go even deeper, you can join as a member of the Groove Crew to get access to exclusive members-only live streams, which include my immediate reaction right after I do the show. I go through all of my notes here, no filter, pretty much exactly as I have them written. We have a little conversation ourselves, members only, about what we thought about the show before I make this edited video. Here we have the Comeback Idol episode that's actually making a lot of people angry. They think it's unfair that Idol contestants from last year who already had all that time on the show and after the show to gain a fan base get to come back on this season with all of that and have an unfair advantage to the contestants that we've just met. Here are my thoughts. Yes and no. Yes, they do have a fan base from last year, but you could say it's the same fan base that have become fans of these new contestants as well. Now, does the average American Idol voter have more love for a contestant that they loved last year more than they did this year? Well, maybe that's part of the point. Is a contestant last year better than the contestants this year? And they only get one, so there's only one of them coming in. My main thought, if someone has a ridiculous advantage, it's going to be the runner-up of last year, Arthur Gunn. He got second place. So not only does he have a massive advantage over all the comeback contestants, he's got a pretty big advantage over all the contestants, you could argue, for this season, because he got the second most votes last year of anybody. A massive percentage of American Idol voters from last season voted for him the whole time, and now he's back, and if he makes it into the top 10, which it's his to lose, just statistically speaking, he might have that unfair advantage. But here's my other thought you have to think about. Almost everyone is angry about this. So if almost everyone is angry about it, then maybe there isn't an advantage. Because if everyone's mad that someone from last season can get in this season, I want to think that those people that are angry won't vote for that person. So it'll be interesting. It could be an advantage, or it even could be a disadvantage. It really could go either way. When you think about these 10 contestants and who's going to be the one person out of these 10, it's almost impossible for me to think it's going to be anybody than Arthur Gunn. But one person, if they're going to steal it, did exactly what they needed to do to steal that position. And we're going to talk about that person later. First up, we've got CYNIAH.
Now the years went by, my hands tied up in your ropes, forever and ever, no more.
I remember CYNIAH from last year as a great singer. She comes through in that way once again. You could tell CYNIAH and a lot of the contestants were itching to get on this stage, have this experience. They didn't get this experience at all. They were at their homes with iPhones and ring lights. It was not the American Idol experience at all. Now they all got a chance to experience it at least once, and they are taking advantage of it fully. CYNIAH is moving and grooving. She's actually doing a little too many dance moves for me. It's not that there were too many of them. They just made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why, I can't put my finger on it. It's just a little much for me personally. Vocally, she's great. She's doing everything great. You also notice with CYNIAH and all the other contestants, pitch is right on the money. Almost no one has a problem with pitch, and it's the experience, because these people, even though they went from home, are experienced veterans when it comes to singing with ears, singing these performances, singing 2-minute arrangements, and performing live with pressure. They're veterans. They've done it before, and now they're here to do it again, and their experience is showing. Overall, as far as the performance goes, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything was great. She sounded great. I was just kind of, I wasn't going crazy about it. She's also got the very first spot of the show, which is not a great place to be in. It's not the worst. Second is probably the worst. Second or third. She got cut kind of further down the line last season. I don't think she's got a chance to make that one spot, but she gave it all she got. Here we have kind of a fourth judge in Bobby Bones, really trying to stretch out the time to make a 2-hour show with just 10 people. So they add Lauren Daigle and Harry Connick Jr.'s performers, so like they have 12. Their pre-performance video package is much longer. And again, we see here we got Bobby Bones as like a fourth judge to say what he thinks. He's actually awesome. Really, really good at this. You can tell that he's got experience in radio. He's very articulate. He's very quick and witty and natural. I've been thinking this for a while, but I think they're probably priming him to take over Ryan's job whenever Ryan doesn't want it anymore. Next we have Nick MERICO. A lot of dance moves.
I come and go throughout the years, but I wasn't worth your tears. Yeah.
You can tell he's been itching for that American Idol live stage performance as well. They go all out for him as far as the stage, the band, the arrangement, the performance. He does an original song, and I'm down. You gotta make big moves. You got a 1 in 10 shot, and honestly a less than 1 in 10 shot, unless you're Arthur, of making it into the top 10. You gotta do something wild. For him to do an original and a move and do all the stuff, I think that's exactly what you should have done. I didn't love it myself. It was just a lot of deadpan looking into the camera, blue steel. The song wasn't bad. His vocal was okay. And we have the first critique of the entire season, with Luke basically saying, with the vocal talent we have this season, I don't think you're gonna match up. And we got introduced to the beauty and the entertainment of when a judge gives critique that I forgot about. The audience booing them. That's so much fun. Makes contestant feel better. The judge reacts to it. And then another piece of fun is that another judge can completely disagree with them, and then the crowd cheers and we cheer. This beautiful dynamic that was so integral to American Idol in the early seasons has left us for a long time, and Luke brought it back at least for one comment for one contestant. Lionel says, I usually don't, but I totally disagree with my colleague Luke, and the crowd goes wild. And then we got people at home like me, like you, going, oh, I totally agree, or no, that's ridiculous. I'm happy that that is brought back, at least for a moment. Last thing I'll say about Nick's performance, his power stance was just a little too wide. You gotta have about a 23, some people say 25-degree angle with your legs. I have no idea what I'm talking about. His legs were just kind of far apart. It just looked awkward to me. Next, we have ALIANA JESTER. Who looks like a completely different person. Even when I see her from her pre-performance video package, where you see her current day right now, and then into the performance probably like 2 days after that, I still can't recognize her. She looks wonderful. She sings a great, great song. In the beginning, you can tell that her nerves are getting the best of her, and what happens when you get really nervous is your body goes into fight or flight mode, and the muscles around your vital organs will tense up to protect your vital organs, and a vital organ that is protected are your lungs. And so they're actually restricted, so you can't get quite enough air, and your neck is a little tense too, so everything kind of tightens up. You usually lose about 3 notes on the bottom and the top of your range. I'm kind of hearing that here as she starts to kind of struggle through those chest notes in the beginning. She gets it together though. As she goes on, it gets better. There are moments of it where it's beautiful, and there are moments of it where it's yelling. But she represents herself really well. I don't like the ending as far as the arrangement goes. It's just a very classic American Idol ending, kind of a diamond on the one. So we're singing this song, and then to end it, it's like, oh, I'll never love again. Da-da-da-da. I don't think that song calls for that. You could do something so much more interesting and kind of swell on the last chord and make it, oh, I'll never love again. Something that goes along with the song, but I'll never love again just didn't fit for me. That's not a critique of her, I just didn't like how the song ended. Next we got Franklin Boone singing a throwback. Let's go! Oh my God.
We want more than this world's got to offer.
Come on, brother.
We want more than this world's got to offer.
Everybody lift your hands in the house.
More than the wars of our fathers. We were meant to live so much more. We lost ourselves. We were meant to love.
Yes, last note. This is one of the first songs I heard and it was like, I have to learn this on guitar. He does really, really well here. Nice melody changes, nice performance, a couple small tweaks to the arrangement which were nice. He adds a 2 in there, so he adds another chord. So I think originally it's, we were meant to live so much more if we lost ourselves. And he adds this chord, we were meant to live for so much more. And it really brings it up and kind of lifts in a really nice way. His pitch is perfect. He sounds great. The last note was awesome. A performance technique that you can do that sometimes people do it without thinking. It's really effective when you give the audience the idea that you are at the top of your range and here's your biggest note, and then you go higher than that. And that's what he did on this last note. It goes up to an A, which is a pretty high belting tenor note. He knocked it out of the park, did everything. I don't think he's got a chance to be the one that makes it into the top 10, just statistically speaking, because of Arthur Gunn and where he ended in the show last year. But he represented himself incredibly well. I don't think he could have done that song any better than he did. Faith Becknell is next.
Come on and cry, cry, baby. Cry, baby.
She sings, she sounds great, but I'm bored, if I'm honest. And I get frustrated with myself for some reason when this happens. Someone's singing great and I don't like it, and I just point inwardly. Maybe that it's a personality trait I have. What is wrong with me? Why don't I like this? Because it's great. She didn't mess up. The pitch was great. Her voice is great. She's a high quality singer. Sang a great song. I just wasn't crazy about it. Lionel says something that is nice and gets people to cheer, but is absolutely false and everybody knows it. It's not true. He says one thing that could be argued, says you've already won. Totally. All of them have already won with this great experience alone, much less the platform that they have now and the fan base they have. And then he says, it doesn't matter if you come in number 1, 3, 5, 8, 10, it doesn't matter. It does though. I mean, it does. It's nice to have that sentiment and like, you already won and wow, this is great. There's a big difference between 1 and 10. Or 3 and 10. You're gonna have more fans if you won or got 3rd than if you got 10th. You can't say there's no difference between 1 and 10. So I'm getting a lot of my comments, justice for Graham. Graham needs to come back. A lot of people are upset that they're bringing other people from the last season into this one when maybe Graham could have had that spot. But honestly, and I've been kind of holding this in for a long time, Graham didn't really have any business being on the show anyway. I'm surprised he got to Hollywood Week. And then when he got in Hollywood Week, he just showed that he really wasn't up for it. Like he's never been that great of a singer. I don't...
Oh! Up next, we have Clark Beckham, A Man's World.
Clark Beckham.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world.
Ah, cool. You already sang this song. Don't look at me like
that. Oh, nothing. Without a woman or a girl. Man made the car.
Bouncing up and down, yeah. Keep bouncing, good bounce. I like how you bounce a lot.
Man made the train.
I know that's why he's still here.
This is a man's world. But it would be nothing, oh, without a woman or a girl.
So close, Clark, so close, but not really.
He's lost in the wilderness. He's lost. Oh, it better not.
Another run. Very fun. Fun stuff.
But it would be nothing. Oh, without a woman or a girl.
Thank goodness.
So what we have with Clark is he starts out in the key of A, and he kind of transitions a little bit to an A7 minor relative with a diminished note there. I'm not a big fan of that. Here we go. Not surprising. Clark did some more runs. They were terrible. Everything was off. Wasn't even close. He's really good at bouncing up and down on stage. So it's pretty good for his joints. Judges seem to not like it either, which is cool. They're just kind of stoic and looking at him. I liked that. I really liked the stage. The stage was cool. It looked good. It's like everything was great except his vocals. Besides that, killer performance though. Yeah, it was really good. But he sucks. Clark, I'm getting real sick of these reviews. I know you think it's like really cool for your YouTube channel, but you act like you know us and you really don't. Like, you've been on American Idol, sure, but you have no idea who we are. Like, oh tell me, oh tell me, oh tell me that you know me.
Somebody let me speak. The silence is slowly
No.
killing me.
No.
Oh, tell me, oh, tell me, oh, tell me that you know me.
The next performer is Harry Connick Jr., who is a judge on my season. And I usually don't critique guest performers, but since he's a judge and he critiqued me, now I get to critique him. I'm just gonna go for it. Here's the thing about Harry Connick Jr. His style of music is not suitable for American Idol performances. It's jazz, it's very thoughtful, it's not showy, it's not wow. The song itself, I'm not crazy about the lyrics in the beginning. It sounds like a conversational journal that he just put melody and chords to. But right when he started playing, and he's done it before on American Idol, he's gonna play over everybody's heads. There's gonna be things that are happening that it's not really for the American Idol demographic, but he's doing well, he's singing well, he's playing well, the chords are really cool, the production that's in there is really unique. He starts to sing and caress the mic when he gets up. It's a little uncomfortable for me. He's kind of like doing this thing, and it just comes across to me like it's difficult and painful and makes me uncomfortable in that way, makes me feel that strain. And then later he's singing way above that with ease, and so he wasn't straining in that, but he's kind of given that feel like it was strenuous, which is a performance stage style, but I just was uncomfortable by it. I don't know when he was doing the loop thing, when he was playing all the different instruments, if that was really his instrument looped again, or if that was pre-recorded and he would play it to show you he could play it and then you would hear it later. But he's one of the best musicians on planet Earth. And he did great. It's just not really suitable for American Idol. I guarantee most of American Idol fans are like, what was that? But just for you to know, he's really great. Our next contestant is Arthur Gunn.
When everything's meant to be broken, I just want you to know why.
Now again, like I've said, this spot is his to lose. He's the runner-up of last season, got the most votes of anybody except one person. Arthur sings, pitch is great. There's a guitar solo in there. There's a couple people with guitar solos, and I'm thinking, you got 2 minutes to convince American Idol fans and voters that you are the one that needs to be in the final 10 for this year, and you're filling some of that space with a guitar solo? Maybe it's just me. I thought that was a little odd. He's doing a great job and gives us Arthur Gunn. He really does give us his authentic self, and that's really all he ever offers us is his authentic self. He has an instantly identifiable voice, and there's zero front when it comes to Arthur. Not just artistically, but before and after the performances and in the interviews, it's just him. I don't see how anybody wins this 10th spot other than him, but there is one person that blew me away tonight, but I'll tell you that later. Next, we have DEWAYNE Crocker Jr., one of my favorite singers from last season.
Oh, yes it is. It's the voice of God. He's always speaking.
He says that his biggest regret last year was James Brown, which was my favorite performance, that I Feel Good, the famous run.
One more time, so good. I got you.
Oh my gosh.
So good. I got you.
He says he's become a gospel artist now, and that's his heart, and that he wished that he would have stayed true to himself last year, and now he's got an opportunity to do it here. He does, and he does great. He looks like a different person while he's performing, and I'm not just talking about his hair color. The authority that he's singing in when he walks around, the confidence that he has, the tree planted by water, the deep roots that he has as he walks across the stage and sings what he's singing. He does really, really, really well. Katie says, I felt the church chills. Let me tell you, Katie, that's called the Holy Spirit. You saw Franklin Boone, who's a Christian, and others raising their hands as he was singing and really going in. And that's when Bobby Bones said, what started as a song ended in a movement.
When my feet shall trust, I will possess it.
Woo! Yes and amen. So be it. I loved this moment. I loved Bobby's comment. I love this part of the show. Next, we got MAKAYLA Phillips, one of my favorite singers of the season last year.
Anyone, please send me anyone.
Sings a great singer song. The beginning, her low range is pretty impressive. You can tell she's at the bottom of her range, and it's coming through pretty clean and pretty nicely. If you've got a hint of nerves, those notes disappear, and she's delivering them really well. It takes a lot of poise to sing those notes in that part of your range, and she's doing it. Her big notes are just a touch yelly, and what yelly obviously means is like a yell. The proper term is a pushed chest tone. You've got your chest voice, and maybe your limit is right here. Anything above that you just try to muscle your way to that top note, will yourself there, is called a pushed chest tone. And it sounds like you're yelling, trying to push as hard as you can to extend your range when it's really a ceiling that everybody has. Katie said she loved the run between the second verse going into the second chorus. I hated it, actually. She didn't give herself enough time to actually hit the notes. You had to do those notes so quickly that even if she did it perfectly, hit every single note, it didn't have time to make me feel it or really receive the notes that were being sung. My vocal coach on the season, Dorian Holly, told me, you gotta be careful with quick runs because they're just gonna go over people's heads. It's gonna happen, and even if you nail it, they're not even gonna know what you just did. And for me, that's what happened, but also she didn't nail the run itself. It was a little bit like taking the slide instead of taking the stairs. And it was also that classic gospel pentatonic descending run starting from 6, going down an octave to 6 again, and then coming back to 1. The da 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 da, but she had to do it like so fast, it makes me roll my eyes. I don't like it. Katie liked it, so maybe a lot of people liked it, and it's just me being a stickler. But all that being said, it was a great performance for her. She really represented herself well for the most part, looked great, sounded pretty good. Next we got Lauren Daigle, who they love pushing as an Idol alum. I don't think she even made it top 24, which means the producers and the judges decided to cut her, not America. So it's funny that the producers say, we don't think you're good enough to make the American Idol vote until you win a Grammy or two. And now we definitely want to claim you and say, yeah, that's right, you were an Idol alum. Are they lying? No. Yes, she was an Idol alum. I just always find it interesting how they really push people like Tori Kelly, who same thing, didn't make it to the American Idol vote, and Lauren Daigle as American Idol alums, and look how great they're doing, when honestly American Idol had nothing to do with the success in their career. American Idol has everything to do with my success in my career, or Kelly Clarkson or Carrie Underwood and the countless others, but not Lauren's and not Tori's. I love the trumpet solo. That was probably my favorite part of the song. Lauren does great. She's got that loose clothes, hippie, love everybody vibe to her wardrobe. 50 bracelets on each wrist. It's just kind of her style. She does wonderful. She's a star. Next is Olivia XIMINES.
When Jesus said yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus said yes, nobody can say no.
Another Christian song. We got Lauren Daigle singing a Christian song. We got DEWAYNE singing a Christian song. And now we got Olivia singing a Christian song. And dancing, she is a monster. She's a great dancer. She was the surprise of the night for me vocally. She killed the vocal, killed the dancing, picked the dress. She's a valedictorian of her class. She's an actual certified beast. I don't think she has a chance to be that one person that makes it into the top 10, but she did awesome. Really surprised me. Good for her. The last person of the night is Louis Knight.
When you left, you broke my heart.
Woo.
And I knew then we pushed each other too far.
Melody.
We were seeing sideways, we were riding the rain. Wasn't gonna beg another soul to stay. And
Dang it, that's good.
maybe that was my biggest mistake. I hope it wasn't a waste. Is there a part of you that feels the same?
Yeah, sing.
But tell me, do you ever feel?
Oh my gosh.
And I knew then we pushed each other too far. We were seeing sideways, we were riding the rain.
I get it.
Wasn't gonna beg another soul to stay. Maybe that was my biggest mistake. And I knew then we pushed each other too far.
Dang.
Seeing
you guys so much.
Yes! That was great. Last year, I was very critical of Louis' voice. I said I think he's got a great personality. He's interesting. He performs well, but vocally, he just doesn't have what it takes. Now I hear him sing. Whoa, do we have a different singer or what? His range has gotten bigger, his falsetto's gotten better, he's doing runs. The song is beautiful, the melody crushes me. He was incredible. His pitch was right on point, he's delivering it emotionally, dynamically. The band was doing great with his arrangement. He won the night. If there's gonna be one person that takes out Arthur and makes it into the top 10, it's gonna be Louis. In the beginning, I thought there was no chance for anybody except Arthur, but after this performance, and especially for him being last, he's got the best shot, and I think the producers really want him to get it. If the producers and judges had to pick who's gonna fill that spot, I think they'd pick Louis. You see his personality before he performs and after he performs, and he's just a great guy. You fall in love with him, and then he sounds like that, writes songs like that. Woo, what a home run. We got a break next week, which I'm honestly excited about. These videos are fun, but they take a lot of time. I think I'm gonna go camping in the woods or something. But if you're watching this as a premiere, which I hope you are, we premiere these videos every Monday night and Wednesday night at 6:30 Central. And then right after the premiere, and right now, you can hop over to a live stream where we can continue the conversation. It's open to everybody. Open a new tab, go to my channel, and check out the live stream I'm starting. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. We'll see who makes it in. I really want Louis. That's my vote. Make sure you do vote, and I'll see you when I see you. Be good. His arrangements were kind of stupid. I think he's stupid, honestly. He's stupid. That's so funny to me. I think he's stupid.
That is so rough. I hated doing that so much.
Like, yeah, keep bouncing. But he sucks.
But he sucks. So hard to do.
Just say, just give me the line. But he sucks.
Give me say it again.
Yeah.